Very, very glad to be here. Technician. Brother from another mother. Okay.
Поставить сюда. Ничего, что здесь стоит? Или вниз поставить?
Не надо рекламы делать.
Да я тоже.
Обойдутся.
Да, точно, да? Ну, ничего.
Как сейчас
So you're going to speak first.
Да, да.
за рекламу.
Но мне все равно никто не заплатит. Так что,
Is there a queue or
к
there?
сожалению.
Start normal? Lou, you coming up? Come on, Lou. Look at that jacket. Look at that jacket. Wow. You know it's a big fight when Lou DiBella comes dressed like that. Look, that is unbelievable.
Я никогда близко его не видел.
Imagine if they would have found one that fitted him. That would be incredible. Oh, yeah, go on. Guys, welcome to the Mecca of Boxing, Madison Square Garden. We've just about got over the last event here, June the 1st, of course. Who can forget that incredible night of boxing when Andy Ruiz shocked the world and won the World Heavyweight Championship in a huge night. And on October the 5th, we have another big, big night of boxing, another night of drama at this wonderful, wonderful arena. I think the name behind us, the big drama show, is simple. Some people said, oh, that wasn't very creative. But I think it's three words that basically couldn't explain Gennady Golovkin any better. He is, for me, the most entertaining, most dangerous fighter in world boxing. And at a moment in the sport when broadcasters and fans are having to spend so much money as they continuously invest in this great sport, it is so important to give subscribers, it is so important to give fans in the arena value for money. Is there a fighter in boxing that gives more value for money than Gennady Golovkin? I'm not sure. I haven't found him yet. When we did a show when he came over to England and fought Kell Brook, the place went crazy. He may look like a very calm individual. We know he's a lovely man, but what a fearsome fighter. And on October the 5th at Madison Square Garden, he faces off against another fantastic fighter in Sergiy Derevyanchenko. A fight for the IBF Middleweight Championship of the World, live and exclusive on Dazn. This is a major moment for both guys. Of course, it's a pleasure to be working with the teams of both fighters. Sergiy, Lou DiBella, you've done a great job. Keith Connolly, the best manager in the sport of boxing. Rozier, a great trainer as well, and a brilliant team of people. They had a fight just across the building against Danny Jacobs for the world middleweight title. It was a fight that came very early in Sergiy Derevyanchenko's career. I think you're going to see a different fighter in the big building on October the 5th. For me, it's a pleasure to be part of Team Triple G now. A man that we've admired from a distance for a long time, a man that we've watched on TV, become one of the biggest names in the sport of boxing. Again, a great team of people. Tom Loeffler, Jonathan Banks, Torsten, everybody, John Horner that's involved in this team. And there's been a lot of speculation recently about who he's going to fight. Is it going to be Canelo? Is it going to be this? The thing that is most important in a fighter's career is take control of your career. Have a strategy, have a plan. Don't worry about other people that don't want to fight you. Worry about your own career, worry about your own destiny. And right now, we have a plan with Gennady Golovkin's career that is extremely exciting to dominate the division. And it starts on October the 5th at the Mecca of Boxing at Madison Square Garden. Firstly, we want to bring up our partners here at MSG. Again, these people are first-class people for a first-class arena. This place just delivers goosebumps every time you walk in it. And when you fill it up with fighters like Gennady Golovkin, there is no better place to be when you are watching a live fight night than Madison Square Garden. Ladies and gentlemen, from Madison Square Garden, Sal Federico.
Thanks, guys. Good afternoon and welcome to Madison Square Garden. We are incredibly excited to announce another terrific night of great fights for the best fans in the world here at Madison Square Garden, the Mecca of boxing. We couldn't be more thrilled to welcome our friend, Triple G, back to the Garden. When we first met Gennady, I think it was 2012, we invited him to a Ranger game while he was visiting New York, and we gave him a tour of the arena. At the end of the night, he thanked us and told us that he would love to fight here one day. In typical Gennady fashion, October 5th will mark his 7th fight at Madison Square Garden, and everyone here at MSG couldn't be more proud that he considers the Garden his home away from home. Fans from around the world have come to the Garden to experience the big drama show, and as any of them will certainly tell you, there's nothing else like it in sports. The Garden has enjoyed a great relationship with Gennady, Tom, Melissa, John, Thorsten, Max, JB, and the entire Triple G team, and it has been great working with them again on this fight. And on October 5th, we know that Gennady will be facing one of the toughest fights in his career. Sergiy is a former Olympian and one of the top middleweights in the world. We're expecting an absolute firefight when these two collide in the ring. We'd like to welcome him back to the Garden and like to thank our good friends Lou DiBella, Keith Connolly, and everybody for all their help to make this happen. Of course, we'd also like to thank Eddie Hearn, Frank Smith, and the staff from Matchroom Boxing. They've been a great partner, and we're looking forward to working with them on this event, as well as the great card headlined by Devin Haney on September 13th. Although I'm personally very excited about Heather Hardy and Amanda Serrano, which I think is going to steal the show that night. Certainly, I'd like to welcome Joe Markovsky, our friends, great partners from Dazn, who will have a great broadcast, I'm sure. We've gotten to know Dazn very well over the past couple of months, and they're a great partner to work with. Tickets for October 5th go on sale tomorrow at noon. It can be purchased at the MSG box office or online at msg.com. All the best to the fighters, and we look forward to seeing everybody here during Fight Week. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Sal. What a 10 months it's been for Dazn. I see a lot of the guys here, the team, see Akim Barak at the back there, started off 10 months ago with Dazn. We're still here, we're still grinding. You know, remember what they said, Akim Barak, Dazn? Oh, they're not going to make it. Who are they going to sign? 10 months on, Anthony Joshua, Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez, Usyk, Maurice Hooker, Danny Jacobs, Demetrius Andrade, Saul Rungvisai, Juan Estrada fights in Hermosillo on Saturday. People tried to put it down, people tried to hate on it. We're 10 months in. That's it, 10 months. From a platform standing still in the US to having by far the strongest stable of fighters in America. It's not even close. Now we've got to make sure that together we make the fights people want to see. We make sure we continuously provide value for money for subscribers on Dazn. A young man that we've been working with since that period, back in July, August, when we started. It's been a great run. As much hair as he has, is obviously become thinner through the sport of boxing. He's only been working in boxing for 4, 5, 6, 7 months. He's already saying to me, oh, this sport drives me mad. Tough, you're in it, you're addicted, like all of us. We're all addicted to the sport of boxing. You can't get away with it. It's the greatest sport in the world. But this young man is helping, he's pushing, he's trying his best for fans and subscribers to deliver their fights. He's a big, big part of the development of Dazn from a fighter perspective, from a platform perspective, from a marketing perspective. Round of applause, please, for Joseph Markowski from Dazn.
Thanks, Eddie. And I was going to start by congratulating you on your new relationship with Gennady, but I think what's more impressive is your cardigan today. And along with Lou's blazer, it's like New York Fashion Week's come early at MSG. But guys, thanks for being here today. Obviously, lots of our friends here in the crowd and on stage with us, and everyone on stage, I think, recognises the amount of work that's been going in behind the scenes over the summer at Dazn and with all of our key partners to build out what at year end will be, without question, the most impressive schedule in fight sports as we continue our 10-month journey, as Eddie mentions, in the sport of boxing here in the United States. This fight on October the 5th, the second of Gennady's long-term deal with us, broadcast relationship with Dazn, will be the start of what I'm seeing as a season of fight sports. a long-term schedule of high-quality fights, best fighters against best fighters, delivering, as Eddie mentioned, tremendous value for fight fans. It's a tremendous night in itself. It will drive a hell of a lot of interest, as the media turnout today suggests, but it's only a part of the back end of our year's schedule, which is going to be great for fight fans and great for sports fans more generally. So we're very excited about that. We look forward to welcoming you all back here on October the 5th to MSG, the mecca of boxing, for what's sure to be a fantastic night. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe. We're going to move to Team Derevyanchenko now. Firstly, I'm going to bring up a man who, last time Sergiy fought for the world title against Danny Jacobs, had a tough job because he worked with both fighters. He couldn't get as emotionally involved as you see him do on many fights, but this time he can, because he's fully got one man in this fight, and that's Sergiy Derevyanchenko facing off against Gennady Golovkin. He's done a great job for Sergiy. He's done a great job for his fighters. I know how much he wants his man to win on October the 5th. I'd like to bring up the manager for Sergiy Derevyanchenko, Keith Connolly.
Thank you, Eddie. Wow, what an amazing opportunity for Sergiy Derevyanchenko. 10 months ago, we were in this building where he fought Danny Jacobs, which Eddie just talked about, and he lost a very close decision. I know him and his wife were really heartbroken, and I made them one promise that night, that I would do everything in my power to get them another opportunity. And 10 months later, because of a lot of maneuvering by Sergey's team, Lou DiBella, Alex Dombrov, Al Heyman, he's back in this same position he was 10 months ago. And he's got a second opportunity to be under the bright lights and really change his life. And I think he's got a really, really good chance. I'm a huge fan of Gennady Golovkin, huge fan. But this will be the second time in my life I'll be rooting against him. One was obviously when he fought Danny a couple of years ago. It was a tremendous fight in this building, and it was a razor-thin close fight. And I expect that type of fight come October 5th. Sergey's got a real chance. He might only be 13-1 as a pro, but he has over 400 amateur fights and won 390 of them. So this is definitely an entertaining fight. I want to thank everybody involved. I want to thank John Skipper, who really went the extra mile to move some money around to make this fight happen. Obviously, I want to thank my good friend Eddie Hearn, who's now involved with Mr. Golovkin, and I don't think this fight would have happened if Eddie didn't move some things around in his business to really put the funds up to make this happen. I want to thank Lou DiBella. Lou and I really got along this time. I want to thank Alex Dombrov, who's always the one that gets in the middle and lets cooler heads prevail. But all jokes aside, me and Lou, I think, really worked hard to get this job done. And, 2 days ago, I really didn't even think this fight was going to happen. We had hit an impasse on one thing in the contract, and John Hornauer and Al Heyman got on the phone. They came to terms on that, and the fight is now happening. That's how close it was to all falling apart. So I hope everybody's hard work over the last month to make this fight happen really gives these guys an opportunity to make boxing fans happy October 5th. Hope to see everybody there. I think it'll be a great night. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. I'm going to bring up a man now who was definitely in the same shoes almost as Keith Connolly in that fight. Obviously, Andre Rozier training both Sergiy Derevyanchenko and Danny Jacobs. I didn't see him smile really once in that build-up. Didn't really see him smile during the fight, after the fight at all. But this time, like Keith, he has one objective, one plan, and that's for his man to become the world middleweight champion on October the 5th at Madison Square Gardens. A great trainer, a great man. Ladies and gentlemen, Andre Rozier.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, this time I'm in a far more comfortable position. The last time that I didn't work with Sergiy was against Danny, and that was like a fragmentation of the family. I was on one side, my big brother Gary Starks was on the other side. It was nothing right about it, not at all. And although there was a winner and a loser, I was praying that it would have been a draw. That would have really got me out the house on a safe note. But this time, it's not that case. I don't have anybody from his training team to argue with. Abel and I argued all day long. But his trainer now, Jonathan Banks, he's family too, so I don't know who I'm going to argue with. And I've faced this young man 3 times. This will be the 3rd time. And I dare to say that he's damn near like family. But he cannot win this time. This time he cannot come up victorious. The technician is ready, he's willing, he's able, he's putting his best foot forward. Our team is no longer fragmented. The squad is ready, and we plan to be the middleweight champion of the world on October 5th. Sergiy is a quiet man, but you have to watch the quiet ones. They're the most dangerous. Looking forward to October 5th. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. Going to bring up now the promoter for Sergiy Derevyanchenko, Lou DiBella, who, you know, I think like everybody in the sport has up and down relationships with, but this last year particularly has been a joy to work with Lou DiBella. I think he's done such an amazing job with his fighters, balancing them across networks with various different promoters and opportunities, because I think that rather than aligning himself with one partner, he's done the best job for all of his fighters and his clients. And you know, he sits now with a great talent pool of fighters, obviously with a huge amount of experience in the industry. And you know, it's been a joy learning from him, if you like, as well, since we came to America as well. And you know, we have our arguments, but he delivers for his fighters. He keeps his word when a deal is made. And again, you won't see many more passionate people in the sport of boxing than Lou DiBella. His heart will be on his sleeve on October 5th at MSG. And I like people like that, because I'm cut from the same cloth. We both want to win desperately. We both want our fighters to win desperately. And I look forward to facing off against him in the build-up to this fight and also on fight night as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the promoter for Sergiy Derevyanchenko, Lou DiBella.
Thank you, Eddie, and I am grateful for the fact that I've been able to encounter open doors in this business from Dazn and elsewhere, that I've been able to find opportunities for my fighters and try to, with a good team, like the team behind Sergiy, Al Heyman, and Keith Connolly, been able to orchestrate opportunities and paydays and chances to rise to the top level of the sport for the fighters I work with. This was a complicated couple of months that led up to this fight. You know, I once had hair, Joe, like somewhat like yours when I started. Maybe not like that good, but when I started 30 years ago in the sport, I had hair. I also weighed a few pounds less. Eddie, the sweater. I mean, it's 90 degrees out. For God's sakes, you're wearing a Gucci sweater. Okay. Look, I was really impressed by what Dazn did to assure themselves and to assure boxing fans of a quality schedule this fall. You can't compel a fighter to get into the ring and fight a particular fighter. It doesn't even matter if the contract specifies it. You can't make a man go into the ring and fight another man, or a woman go into the ring and fight another woman if they don't want to. And honestly, the guy to my right is one of the great champions of our time, one of the greatest middleweights who's ever laced up gloves, and one of the greatest people in boxing. He doesn't need to keep chasing somebody. You know, the fight will happen when everybody wants that fight to happen. But in the meantime, we were able to negotiate openly and honestly with Golden Boy to attempt to make a Canelo Alvarez fight. But when we were not able to reach terms, part of the reason we were able to move on was we knew who the guy next in line was. We knew that it was Gennady Golovkin, one of the great champions of boxing. We knew that Gennady knew Sergiy. They knew each other for years. I mean, when they were both amateurs. Sergey's one of the greatest amateurs that's ever laced up gloves in Eastern Europe, and as was Triple G. These are both men with over 300 amateur wins and just a handful of amateur losses. So Gennady knew that the guy that was going to fall down to him wasn't some easy touch. It wasn't a walkover to win a title. It was absolutely one of the best middleweights in the world for an opportunity to get a belt that somebody else out there somehow believed he needed to get to be worthy of another fight. Look, Canelo is a great fighter, one of the best in the world. He's on Dazn. People are going to get to watch Canelo Alvarez on Dazn, and that's good if you're a boxing fan. But anybody who knows anything about boxing knows at worst when Canelo and Triple G met, it was 1-1. And Triple G has every reason to believe that it's 2-0. Because that second fight could have gone either way, and the first one was clearly his. But right now, he's moving on with his life and fighting the best middleweight in the world available to him in this next fight. And that's what I believe Sergiy is. And I also believe it's giving Triple G the opportunity to get that belt that he had given up a while ago, been taken away from a while ago, and have a belt in the middleweight division if he can beat the man to my left. But I'm going to tell you, this is one of the 3 hardest fights Triple G's ever walked into the ring for. It's one of the 3 best opponents, in my mind, Triple G's faced as a pro. I really believe that. That's how good I think Sergiy is. I think this is a great fight for fight fans. I think it's a great opportunity to come to the Garden and see a tremendous show. And I promise you that between Triple G Promotions and Eddie and myself, the rest of the card is going to live up to the main event. And we're going to have a night of boxing that's going to be one of the best nights of boxing on the DAZN schedule for the rest of the year. If you don't get DAZN, you need to get DAZN. And you need to get DAZN because the quality of the programming being made available on a regular basis to boxing fans is the highest quality of boxing available on any platform right now. That's not my opinion. If you just look at it, and you look at the schedules, and you look at what's coming and who's fighting, it's empirical fact. Right now, for the cost of one pay-per-view, you can get a year of DAZN and get the best in boxing. October 5th, Madison Square Garden, it's going to be the best in boxing. I want to thank my staff for their hard work. Keith, thank you, and Al. Eddie, thank you. Triple G Promotions. And I want to most thank the guy over here, the guy to my right, because even though we were the #1 contender, even though this was a route to a world title, Triple G didn't have to fight us. He accepted this fight as a challenge. He knows that Derevyanchenko is a worthy adversary, and he knows that the winner that night on October 5th is a world champion, a real champion. So I want to thank you, Gennady. Thank you very much. And October 5th, we'll see you at Madison Square Garden. It's going to be a great night of boxing. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. I'm going to bring up one half of this great fight for the IBF World Middleweight title. A guy who, like Lou said, one of the best amateurs to ever lace a pair of gloves. Everybody in the sport of boxing knows how good Sergiy Derevyanchenko is. He's a real threat and a real danger to the division and to Gennady Golovkin. Ladies and gentlemen, one part of this great fight for the vacant IBF World title, Sergiy Derevyanchenko.
Привет всем. Мне очень приятно находиться вновь в Madison Square Garden. Я хочу сказать огромное спасибо моей команде, Кит Конноли, Эл Хейман, Лу Белла, что они организовали такой бой. Хочу сказать большое спасибо команде Головкину, что они приняли этот бой, что мы договорились о этом бое. Это будет...
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out here today. First, I want to tell you I'm really excited and happy to be at Madison Square Garden. I want to say a big thank you to my team, to Keith Connolly, to Al Heyman, Lou DiBella, Andre Rozier, Gary Stark Jr. And I really want to also give thanks to Gennady Golovkin for the opportunity as well.
Я понимаю, с кем я буду боксировать, что это бывший чемпион мира, что это лучший боксер миддлвейта, но его время подходит к концу. Я хочу сделать это время концом.
I know exactly who I'm getting in the ring with. He is a former middleweight champion of the world, one of the best fighters in the world, but his time is coming to an end. And I want to be the one that makes that time come to an end.
Приходите 5 октября, будет отличное шоу. Спасибо.
Please come here October 5th, and you'll watch a great show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Team Derevyanchenko. Move over to Team Golovkin, and a man that's been instrumental over the years in the team. I'm going to bring him up now to say a few words on behalf of Team Golovkin, GGG Promotions, and also introduce the training side as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Loeffler.
Thank you, Eddie. Welcome to the team. It's going to be an exciting partnership with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, and we're just excited, with everything that Triple G has accomplished over the years in his career. We're looking for him to reach even bigger heights now with the partnership with Dazn. Coming home to Madison Square Garden. I've had a long history here at this arena, even with Lou. When Lou was at HBO, we did the Kevin Kelly-Nassim Hamed fight, one of the most iconic fights that we've had at this building. I want to thank Joel Fisher, Sal Federico, Larry Torres, Dan Schoenberg, everyone at MSG for really making Gennady feel like this is his home. When I first started working with Gennady, first thing I did was send Sal Federico, Sal will attest to this, an email saying, starting to work with Triple G, we want to bring him to the Garden. We saw how instrumental MSG was in the career of the Klitschko brothers fighting here. And I had that same vision for Triple G. How are we going to build a fighter from Kazakhstan that we're basically begging the TV networks put on, just give us a slot. And Sal at Madison Square Garden saw that vision right away. That was September 12th was his debut over here in the U.S., and ever since then, it's been a terrific ride. He's sold out here at the Garden. One of the few fighters in the world that can sell out Madison Square Garden, but selling out arenas in Los Angeles and London when we worked with Eddie with the Kell Brook fight, all over the world. It's just Las Vegas. It's been a pleasure seeing his career build to the point where he signed one of the most lucrative deals in sports, not only in boxing but in sports, with Dazn. So we want to thank John Skipper, Joe Markowski for seeing the value of bringing Triple G onto the network. Also want to thank our sponsors, Tecate and Chivas, for supporting the show and helping with the activations and the marketing. And they've been pivotal sponsors for Gennady throughout his career as well. I do have to go back to something that Lou said. Last year, there were a lot of critics of Triple G when the IBF ordered Sergey as the mandatory for his for the IBF belt. Triple G was a unified champion at that time, and there was such a time pressure after Canelo tested positive, and we were scrambling just to save that May 5 date. And because Triple G opted not to fight Sergey at that time, because that Canelo fight was looming, a lot of people thought, well, Triple G thinks it's too dangerous. He doesn't want to fight Derevyanchenko. He's afraid of him. I can tell you, Triple G hasn't ducked anyone in this sport. And he's giving Sergey a huge opportunity, a big pay, huge payday for him, his family, his career. And that's something that Triple G never got when he was coming up. I remember when Lou was working with the best middleweight champion at the time, and we were begging for a fight, scrambling for a fight, and Lou said, there's no way we're letting Triple G near my guy. I think you guys know who we're talking about. So you got to look at Triple G being the guy at the top of the sport, giving other fighters the opportunity to fight him in the ring. And this is a tremendous fight. Sergey had a split decision loss to Danny Jacobs. We have a lot of respect for Danny. His team, had the same team pretty much, Keith Connolly and Andre Rozier. We've been, Andre, this would be the third time now going through this, and we're looking forward to Gennady. He had that historic championship run, tying the great Bernard Hopkins record, 20 title defenses. We're looking forward to him winning his IBF title back on October 5 to start another championship run in the middleweight division. With that, I'd like to bring up someone who I've known for a long time, who I have a lot of respect for, who's trained a heavyweight champion of the world, who's trained now who we still consider the best middleweight in the world. I also agree with Lou that, you know, Triple G hasn't lost a fight in the ring. He might have lost on the scorecards by 1 point in the 12th round on one judge's score. He might have lost his titles that way, where the majority of the media and very outspokenly thought 1,000,000% that Triple G had won that 12th round. But we're not looking back at that. We're looking forward. He's looking forward to Derevyanchenko. I think this is a tremendous matchup. Whenever you can get two guys like this in the peak of their career, still the prime of their career. Some people say, well, Triple G is 37 years old. The way he's training, the way I saw him training with Jonathan Banks in the last camp, on a very short camp that we had to put together with the Steve Rolls fight, and now having Jonathan having a full training camp with Triple G, I think you're going to see some spectacular results on October 5. I'd like to bring up a longtime friend of mine, someone who I used to work to get fights on the Klitschko shows, who was a sparring partner with Vladimir Klitschko and then was part of Vladimir's long championship, heavyweight championship run. I'd like to bring up Jonathan Banks.
Thank you, Tom. It's good to be here. Andre, my man, this will be, I can't say, it's an honor, actually, to go up against this guy. I've been seeing him since I was 15 in the amateurs. I got nothing but the utmost respect for this guy, and that's, I think, to me, that's one of the things that's going to make this fight one of the biggest fights of Triple G's career, because I know the pedigree that Andre has, and he always surround himself, well, I'm sorry, good fighters always surround himself with him, because they know he always taking fighters to another level, farther beyond what they was, and I have the utmost respect for him. And this fight will be a good fight. Tune in on the Zone, come to the Garden. This is a fight you're not gonna want to miss. Both guys are fighting for a chance to be world champion. One is a repeat, one may be a first timer, but it doesn't matter. The playing field is completely even, it's completely level. And I think both guys is gonna put everything in their arsenal on the line for this fight to win this world title. And myself and Triple G is looking forward to the fight, and I'm sure they are too, and looking forward to seeing you on Fight Night.
You see what I mean, folks? This is what I'm saying. This is going to be a difficult situation. Family, but we have to take care of our business. But I wish it was Abel Sanchez again, because I could really get in his butt. I can't right now, because that's like family, but it is what it is.
Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Jonathan. Now we move on to, unquestionably, the main man in this show, and for me in the division as well. I think that when we talk about the struggles of fighters coming through, I remember when I had a fighter called Darren Barker who was looking to challenge for the World Middleweight Championship. And I think it was Tom Loeffler who called me up and said, great news, we can give Darren Barker a shot at the world title. And I said, how much is that going to cost me? They said, just give us some ringside tickets, that's fine. I couldn't believe my luck. I phoned up Darren Barker's trainer, and I said, you're not going to believe this, we've got a world title fight. He said, who's it against? I said, this guy, Gennady Golovkin. The phone just went dead. He didn't even call me back. And this is a guy who had to go through his whole career with people not wanting to fight him. So when he gets to this situation in his career, where people don't want to fight him, it's nothing new. It's nothing new at all. So he just goes about his business. And sitting down with this gentleman is an honour, always, and a privilege, because as an individual, he carries himself with so much class in a sport where you see people misbehaving and behaving with no class. This guy is a role model for the next generation of fighters coming through. He has integrity, he has respect, he has honour, and when you look at him in the eyes, it just tells you one thing. I love to fight, and I will fight any man. And fans need to know, don't worry about Gennady Golovkin. He will fight anybody because he loves to fight. It's an honor now to be on the team, and at this time I would like to welcome up to the dais the former world middleweight champion, Gennady Golovkin, aka Triple G.
Thank you, Eddie. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited. Just beautiful present. I don't know. First of all, I'm very happy. Go back home, my second home. You know, thank you, people. Thank you, family in Madison Square Garden who support me all my real career. Of course, I'm very excited right now because I understood the situation. Look, right now, I work with the best people from boxing. I have the best opponent, Sergiy Derevyanchenko. I know him long time ago. He's a real very good fighter. You know, just I understood my situation. This is not game. This is a real fight. I'm a little bit scared because he's absolutely right. I listen to his coach. He's absolutely right too. You know, I know his team is very strong team. And why? Because I'm scared. Because, you know, because he looks good, he looks strong, he feels his time right now. Maybe. This is boxing, nobody knows, guys. Nobody knows. If you want watch a real show, real fight, please welcome to Madison Square Garden October 5th or live Dazn. I want to say thank you people who support boxing, thanks people who support me and promotions, you know, all promotions, all sponsors, or partners, just thank you for everything. I promise, guys, October 5th, we bring amazing show. Don't miss the show. See you in Madison Square Garden, guys. See you.
Thank you all, and of course thank you to the media for taking your time to come today, and also our sponsors, Takati, Shivas, and of course October the 5th, Madison Square Gardens. Tickets go on sale on Friday at midday. Do not miss this show. The card is going to be stellar from top to bottom, and the World Middleweight Championship between Gennady Golovkin and Sergiy Derevyanchenko will be a fight you do not want to miss. You can find it, as always, on the wonderful Dazn. We're going to break for photos now, and everybody available for one-on-ones. Thank you for tuning in and attending today. Thank you.
Let's get a group shot with managers, trainers. Yep. Good. All right, we're waiting for Dazn to bring a camera over.